All right, everyone, welcome back to Agents of Change. A bit of background, this is a podcast I created just to have real-world conversations about AI in business. And today, I'm joined by the magnificent Craig Gorton, who's the director of Atlas Partners. We're going to dig into how he's approaching AI in his business and what he's seeing in the market. G'day.
Pleased to be here, Dina. Thank you for having me.
I've been looking forward to this. It's funny that this is the way we've chosen to catch up, having not caught up as mates for us.
I know. That's what children teach you.
I know. So, for anyone who hasn't met you, can you share a bit about your background and what you're up to these days?
Sure. I'm from the UK originally, Manchester. My background in terms of work is finance. So I was an accountant for 10 years, came over to Australia as a backpacker, worked in finance for a number of years, and then transitioned into recruitment of all things. So I transitioned to the dark side with and the one man that got me across on the phone call was the man sat in front of me today, Liam. So it's funny how we all got full circle here. And accounting finance has always been my focus. So working in recruitment for a number of years with this good man and then others along the way, and then moving across into my own venture with Liam Killen. So Atlas Partners is our brand out there. We're a specialist boutique recruitment agency. Accountancy and finance is the focus. That's all we do, heavily specialised. And we've got a great team that service all levels.
Yeah. And they've been following you guys' journey over the years and going strength to strength. So very proud from this side of the fence, mate. It's good. Well done to you guys. And Liam is obviously a stellar bloke as well. Absolutely. So obviously coming from the finance space into the recruiting space, now recruiting accountants in some, well-respected companies in Melbourne. This is going to be an interesting one because I'm really keen to find out about your journey with AI. So you guys, how long have you guys been live as a business?
We're 5 years now. So AI has kind of hit us right in the middle of that journey, middle to recent. In terms of what that looks like. So yeah, there's a lot going on in the recruitment space in AI, that's for sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, in terms of like, when did it start popping up and when were you just like, this is a thing, where did you start using it? Like, tell me about what that journey was like.
Yeah, I would say we started out with the basics. ChatGPT was the first one. That was our sort of introduction and using that for... The thing is about recruitment is a lot of it is administration. I would say a good 60-70% of the job is administration and the rest of it is building relationships. So what we tried to do with ChatGPT was sort of take out some of the time-consuming administration duties, whether that's setting up interviews, putting interview prep together, doing research on potential targets when we're trying to find candidates. So ChatGPT was great for those particular parts of it. And as AI has evolved over the journey over the last couple of years, there's other products which are popping up, which are pretty cool, that are trying to take out that kind of back office administration side of things and allow recruiters to do what they're really good at, which is relationship building, understanding needs and problems within businesses and trying to find solutions in terms of candidates to put into those particular roles in companies.
Yeah, cool. And were there any surprises or big pivots along the way?
Surprises. So I'm charged with looking after technology within the business and AI products. So I can't tell you how many demos I've done with different businesses over the years. One thing I have come to realize though is AI has become is almost a marketing brand name at the moment. There's so many businesses out there that will market themselves as having an AI product, and you sit down and do the demo with them for an hour, and there's no AI there at all. It's just an automated email system or something along those lines that will populate a system. So for me, a real eye opener is, it's AI is this marketing term in many ways. So to find an actual genuine AI product that's going to change the dial for us anyway is actually really hard and really difficult to find something that we're going to invest our time in and feels like it's going to actually push our business forwards.
Yeah. Very interesting. It is quite overwhelming, right? And trying to filter through the noise out there. Yeah, and everyone's been trying to replace recruitment in some shape or form using AI, but it's an age-old discussion about how do you take the human out of the relationship building experience, right?
It is, and I think any industry there's there's this mindset or this media mindset out there of it's going to take my job. But my honest view about it is all it's going to do is allow you to do what you do, the best of the value that you offer in your role. It's going to allow you to do more of that and become better at what you do. And, you know, you're going to enjoy it more at the end of the day. So that's my view on AI and how it's going to certainly impact recruitment. It's going to take out the back office administration, as I said before, really help us with the analytics, really help us nail down our searches, and in terms of the candidates that we're spending time with and talking to, it's going to allow us to deliver a better service to our clients that we work with, and ultimately at the end of the day, help productivity and, you know, move the economy forward. So definitely positive on my side.
Totally agree with it. Now, in terms of like change management and buy-in within the organization, tell me a little bit about that, because if you're the most technical person when it comes to this sort of stuff, there's a big gap between early adopters and where you are.
There is, and we're not at a point yet where we've made any major implementation of AI. There's a couple of products that we have. What I would say about the change management piece is it's like any change management. It's about demonstrating the value to the individual and how it's going to help them in their desk, remove any threats, and then allow them to move forwards and sort of use it in their own way as well. Everyone's a little bit different in terms of how they use some of the products that we've implemented into the business. And it's quite nice to see as well, something we do on a weekly basis. We have an internal L&D on a Monday morning, 15 minutes. One person talks about how they've used particular tools within the business and how they use it. And, you know, every single time someone will be using it in a way that someone else in the room isn't as well. So someone takes something away from it. So yeah, listening to the crowd.
And if you were to say, like, for a recruiting perspective, if there's like one skill or talent that you should have with AI as a base standard, is there anything that comes to mind?
With a base standard, you definitely should know how to use ChatGPT properly. So that means querying it, talking to it in the right way to get the right information out, giving it the right information so you can pull it out as well. The risk, particularly with ChatGPT, is you ask it a question, it'll give you an answer, you take that as gospel, and then you sort of start sending that out to candidates and clients and whatnot. That's the quickest way to fall over in my book. Be really considered with the information that you provide and the type of questions that you ask. Question the information coming back as well. You know, talk to it like you'll be talking to anyone. Question, chisel it down until you get something that you're comfortable and happy with, and it's actually going to add value to the communication that you're involved with.
Has there been any kind of role in terms of training that you guys have used to leverage it for?
AI training?
Yeah, or training like for ChatGPT, for example. Have you guys played around with like role play or anything like that? Do you guys use voice?
Yeah, we're going through a period at the moment where we're going through grad intake internally. And part of that grad intake, we go through scenario planning within the interview process itself. So using AI to come up with scenarios has been really useful in terms of what that looks like. And then obviously we can gauge based on their response if they're going to be suitable for a grad role within the business or not. So that's probably something we're using it for. Interview prep to an extent as well. If it's a particularly complex role, using AI products to maybe even pull together analytics if there's some testing involved, to really sort of talk through and sift through those analytics and get an understanding for, you know, what the use is moving forwards as well. So that will be another use from a training side.
Yeah, cool. And in terms of like your current observations of what's going on, so what does AI look like in your business, and where do you kind of think the biggest impact is if we're looking at right now? Like, where are things going? You guys are just going to continue to evolve and enhance? Is everyone going to be more AI native, or where things are going?
Yeah, I think you have to be more AI native and you have to be open to it and move forwards with it. If you don't, you're going to be left behind at the end of the day. In terms of where the journey is, again, as I sort of mentioned before, I'm going to a couple of demos every week on different products, trying to isolate something that's going to work for our business. It's rare for me to find something that I think, oh, that's going to be a game changer for us. But I think the further we go down this path as well, and as you know, AI developers get more in tune with industry and the problems that I'm trying to solve as a business owner, and my consultants are trying to solve as well for their clients. Once there's a real key understanding of that, the AI products will become much more useful and directed towards solving those problems. And then for someone like me who's making that buying decision, I'm definitely going to move forward with something like that if it's going to add value to the full process.
And what are you thinking in terms of from an industry perspective for recruitment, like do you see any major shifts or where things are naturally going or?
Yeah, I think for me, I do have a bias here, but I think specialist recruitment agencies are going to be certainly in demand, if not in more demand moving forwards. I think your generalist recruiters out there, they do a cracking job. But I think, at a certain level, I think AI is going to be able to sort of take them. If you're a specialist within your particular field and you know everything that you're talking about in terms of the job, the roles, the types of candidates you're looking for, and more about the information that you're plugging into whatever AI products that you're having as well. So whether you have something that's going to help with your search capability, you still need to know what you're putting in. It's the classic sort of, even with a ERP, shit in, shit out, you need to know what you're putting in at the end of the day. It needs to be relevant and really valuable in terms of that, and the output's going to reflect that at the end of the day. So as a specialist recruiter, I think it's going to really aid us.
Another thing that I've heard about, obviously not having been a recruitment for a while, but I heard job applications have changed, like the volume of job applications and amount of people that are spearheading projects or spearheading things in their roles. Has significantly increased. So, like, say for example, you guys recruit in the finance space. What's the most generic role you would advertise for?
I don't know, a generic role, finance business partner.
And so for a finance business partner, like how many applications are you getting for one advert, maybe on Seek, for example?
Yeah, Seek, you get in, anything for 100 to 150 applicants coming through for a finance business partner. There's obviously a lot of candidates coming through. But again, we're in this sort of early adoption phase of AI. So it becomes a bit of a, you get basically a lot of CVs come across and they're exactly the same, and they just look the same, they read the same, they feel the same. And they've clearly been through ChatGPT from the start to finish, and it's there's a level of frustration there, and those particular candidates, they're probably not going to get a call because as a recruiter and you're looking at hundreds of CVs every week, you start to notice these particular patterns which come across, and you don't call them because if you can't put a CV together which is going to be punchy and sort of catch your attention, then that's not going to go anywhere. So that's something we're seeing on the CV front.
So in your opinion, what's the best way to stand out as a candidate these days if you're applying for a role?
Yeah, and so caveat that I'm not saying do not use ChatGPT. What I'm saying is put your own CV together, put your own content in there, and really focus on your achievements. And then use ChatGPT to sort of question it. Is there anything else we can put in here? How can I improve this? And it will collect some ideas for you, and then you can add that into your CV in terms of what it is. So ideation is really powerful with ChatGPT. Just sort of putting data in and then taking what it takes out and then pushing that forward is not the way to use it. And that sort of comes back to what I was saying before internally with the team as well. It's about training them to how to use it in the right way, to actually get value out of it, rather than sort of create this kind of sort of bit of a lazy mentality in terms of put the information and just take what you're giving out of it in terms of moving forwards.
And then also on the flip side, like client side, are you noticing that clients are using ChatGPT in their communication? So if they're sending job specs to you, can you tell that there's a ChatGPT format or they're using ChatGPT to... Have you noticed that difference? Because candidate sides obviously have client sides.
On client side, what we've heard on client side is, and you can sort of see this when you see a client advertising directly. You can sometimes say they've written the ad with ChatGPT and they're putting the keywords on there for a finance business partner, for example. They're putting it all around partner with non-finance, but it's this standardized sort of process which moves through. So what you've got is this situation where you've got talent teams putting ChatGPT written PDs out. Then you've got candidates with ChatGPT keyword highlighted CVs, and then you get them in the room together and start having a conversation, and no one's on the same page at the end of the day. Which is it just becomes this pointless exercise.
Yeah. And that's where the specialist recruiter comes in because, segue, because you need to somehow figure out how to untangle that mess and get people on the same page, right?
Definitely. I mean, time is money at the end of the day. And if you're wasting time through interview processes, sifting through CVs that don't represent the right candidate, then, you do need to bring a specialist in who's going to be able to decipher it.
So future outlook. where do you think things are going?
Yeah, I think recruitment's going to shift in terms of, as I mentioned before, that 60-40 split in terms of 60 administration, 40% business development. That's definitely going to flip in the next 12 to 24 months to the 60% business development. It's going to get to a point where it's going to be sort of 80-90%. It's going to be around sort of relationships, whether it's business development, whether it's candidate relationships, client relationships, and really adding value back to the industry. This morning, where I'm just very much like a recruiter, we had our final installment of our Next Gen Finance Leaders, which is where we get 25 female Next Gen Finance Leaders in a room, and we get someone to talk in around their journey, a CFO or C-suite individual. So for us, we get so much positive feedback from putting our time and effort into an event like that. So doing more of things like that in terms of how can we give value back to the industries and the people that we work with, and then how can we develop that a little bit further as well. So understand someone's business a little bit more, understand the team a little bit more. So when it comes to the recruitment side, we're spending more time on, not just the sort of checks and balances in terms of can this person do the job, but, is there going to be an emotional connection towards this candidate and the business? Is that going to lead to longevity for them in the business? Ultimately, are they going to enhance, is their experience as a candidate going to be enhanced by joining this role? And is the business going to be able to move forward by having this individual as part of the team as well? So really focusing on that pure value in recruitment and that's what it's going to be. And if you're a recruiter out there, that's what you need to focus on, developing those skill sets and those influencing skill sets as well, because that's the future.
Mm-hmm. And another question is, from the client side, so obviously you guys are taking briefs for newly created roles and that sort of things. How much more often are you seeing AI coming up in terms of a requirement in the new job, like in accounts, like at accounts payable, right through to senior level, like are people requesting or requiring AI experience more and more, or is it still not at that point?
It's still not at that point, to be honest. I've not seen a position description yet that's requested AI. I mean, there are, there's like Blackline in transactional finance, for example, which is a product which sort of automates that AP processing side of things. And there's loads of products out there that automate. But again, my point before, there's a difference between automation tools and AI as well. AI is just so new, and a lot of the businesses we deal with, so SME to listed as well, they don't necessarily know how to use them either as well. So I think it's hard to put them on a position description. But I do see finance changing as an industry as well in terms of what that looks like, particularly on the data analytics side of things. And again, it's probably consistent with recruitment to a degree. The value is going to be more on the interpretation of those results and the communication of them as well.
Mm. And do you think, from obviously you've seen client side and candidate side, is there a general reluctance to adopt AI from a finance industry perspective compared to other verticals? Or
yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, my gut would probably say yes compared to other industries. It's definitely
skepticism, isn't it?
Yeah, skepticism is there.
Sensitivity of data and a lot of it.
Yeah, you kind of, a lot of it you can't really get it wrong either. You can't get it wrong. So, and it's easily found out. But I think it will be adopted in finance. But that's a good point, actually. I think it will be a little bit slower than other industries out there.
Mm. Yeah, and I mean we see it on the technology side as well. There's people that have just been avoiding it and reluctant and skeptical to give up the control. Whereas the people that have made that jump early now are just moving at a completely different speed. Yeah, and that's really interesting to observe. And I think as well, like, as a business owner, like when you have to start this journey at some point, and like even if you look at productivity of you or the business now, how long has it been since you started, and where are you now? And can you see the dramatic productivity shift and the speed of the way the business worked because of it, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. Whereas there are people with head in the sand still.
Definitely. And we're tip of the iceberg still at the same time. So again, it's just that mindset of understanding that this isn't going to take your job. It's just going to take away the bits of your job that are probably the most unfulfilling parts of the job. And it'll allow you to focus on the things that you're going to enjoy, and it'll allow you to move the needle in terms of your impact that you have on the business that you work in.
Yeah. Now, if you were to start Atlas Partners again from scratch,
I wouldn't do it.
knowing what you know now, like what advice would you give yourself?
From scratch right now, yeah, I would, it would be particularly around the ATS CRM that we use. So we use Job Adder, which is a great product, and they do great work there as well. I think if I had some time at the start as well, it will potentially start looking at sort of building a bespoke ATS that we can use that covers all the pieces of recruitment that we look for from start to finish, and that's on candidate side, client side. I feel like I did a demo with Vincere yesterday, and they all kind of do the same things in many respects, but I feel like there's a lot of AI products out there which you could combine together in a tech stack under a really good, I don't even know if you call it an ATS. It will be probably a little bit broader than that, to be honest, but it'll kind of cover the end-to-end piece in terms of recruitment from an administration side of things. And that's probably somewhere where we're going to go in the future as well. It's just a big piece of work at the end of the day, but being really open to that and putting something in place that's really going to be a real aid for the business and the consultants in the business, just allow them to do what they do best, and that's connecting with people, developing relationships, understanding journeys, and ultimately matching the right talent with the right opportunity.
And on a parting note, one AI tool that you've recently discovered that has just been a game changer, anything that's just changed the game for you? Oh,
that's a good one.
Personal, professional.
Yeah. Good question. From a business perspective, we started using a product called Quill, which is a note-taking. So Dmitry Loukine is probably was the worst note-taking system user in recruitment that I still today have ever worked with. But in today's world, he'll be incredible, because we'd have a conversation over Teams, and we'd interview, and those notes would get not only transcribed, but the key points will be pulled out and then popped into the CRM, into the notes, without you having to even log in, let alone anything else. So that's been a real game changer.
Yeah. I've seen them advertised everywhere, and they still think I'm a recruiter, and they're targeting me with their advertising. So, but you need it, bro. But look, mate, I really appreciate you coming in. This is awesome. I look forward to having a beer straight after this. And but yeah, you did well for your first ever podcast. It's good to put you on the other side as well. Hear what's going on at Bragg. You guys are doing a great job, and it's good to see what you guys are doing for the finance industry in general, for recruitment and your approach, and just seeing how much you guys actually care about the people that you guys serve in the industry. So yeah, well done, and very proud of what you guys have achieved. So keep doing what you're doing.
Thanks, mate. Absolute pleasure.